Good morning, Dana. Can you hear me?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, wonderful. Jim was just on and then something booted him off real quick, so we'll wait for that. And I haven't heard back from Tyler yet, but we have a quick
Okay,
agenda.
great.
There's Jim. Okay. All right, we're on. Excellent. I have not heard back from Tyler yet. Are you all okay with us starting? It's probably going to be a quick meeting.
Yeah, there's no key decisions
All right, I like your
unless
back.
Jim has another idea.
No, 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 no. I agree with you. More reports than anything else, I think.
Yeah.
That's
So
where
it's 9:05 and this is the Finance Committee on December 16th, and we have two of our three members present. Um, what I wanted and myself, so yep, this is it. Who you see on the screens here. So just wanted to start off with our sales tax report. Very healthy in 2024, very similar to 2023, about $10,000 collected more than 2023. Wanted to see if you all had any comments on this, or questions.
It's quite the graph. I mean, in 6 years, that revenue has doubled.
Yes.
I think that's just interesting to reflect on. And I guess um, I'm always a little bit curious about the story that the numbers tell. And so, naturally, online ordering has definitely impacted this. We all just pay a high sales tax to order things here in Silverton. And we all love to order on Amazon and see Reed with the UPS truck. And then just curious about thinking about sort of economic development in our community for the future. And again, this is a larger discussion than today, but like, we have some businesses that are for sale. We have, real estate opportunities. We have things happening and sort of like, what's the story we're able to tell through the chamber, through the town about what's happening in our community and whether that's attracting new businesses to town, attracting new residents, but just sort of thinking about what is this story telling and does it match business owners' experiences? Um, with winter or summer tourism, or does it not? And so I don't know, combined with sort of the Colorado Tourism Office work we're doing and the visitor data, but then also like surveys among businesses, maybe just like what's going on here with these numbers? What does it mean for our community in the future? And what are the opportunities here to continue to have a vibrant, diverse, sustainable economy and year-round residents? So that I just think it's kind of interesting to reflect on those questions. And maybe this would be worth talking about at a retreat. But yeah, I don't know. Those are the things that stand out to me from this graph.
It's interesting that you say that, Dana. I was at a manager's luncheon on Friday, and the city of Pagosa is currently undergoing, they're contracting with a consultant that can go through the very confidential Department of Revenue numbers and give them more data. Exactly what you're saying is what our trends are, what does this mean as far as who we need to be recruiting, or so it'll be interesting to see what comes out of their study. He had a similar one done in a different municipality that he used to run, and said it was very helpful. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
an
super
option out
interesting.
there.
Yeah, and a question I have, Gloria, is like, this is specific to Silverton. Are we an anomaly either in the region or with kind of small tourist economy communities like ours, or are other communities seeing similar trends based on, the rule that we get to collect online sales tax and increase in tourism just in Colorado in general? So like, how does this compare to what's happening in other communities? I think that question is interesting too. And I don't know if
Yeah.
either of you know that. I don't.
Not off the top of my head, and that's why I'm curious to see what comes out of this Pagosa study that they're doing, to see kind of what their trends are. I don't know if we could afford something similar, but
Mm-hmm.
it would be an interesting study to look at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Jim, any thoughts? You have any word on the street? Like, this is quite a crazy graph. What else is going on around the state?
Well, I know from what I pay and what others pay from the business side, this graph perfectly represents the taxes and what we pay for having things shipped into town. Generally, everything that has to be brought in or done in the town of Silverton, in the county of San Juan, just automatically mark up 35 to 45%.
Yeah.
That's just basic. So just understand that that's going to be your cost. Because we're in a remote location. It's a beautiful location. I love being there. Obviously, we all do. But that's just the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that is, regardless of what people say about buying local, this right here shows that our money, whether you purchase online or right down the street, comes back and benefits us locally.
Yeah.
So we're helping ourselves, regardless of how our shopping experience goes. But I don't see this going down anytime soon. I think, in fact, it's going to go up. The more people that come to town, more goods and services are purchased online than ever before. And you're just going to see it. You're just going to see it keep going up.
Yeah.
Locally and throughout the nation.
Thanks for that context. That's helpful.
Oh, I could go
Thanks,
further and further if you'd like, but
thanks, Gloria, for putting this together. I think it'd be good to have more background information to know how this fits in with sort of economic development strategy, planning, marketing, whatever it looks like.
Yeah, and I think that is a much bigger task than probably I'm even equipped for.
Yeah.
So we probably need to pull in some
Yeah.
outside help for that one, to really kind of figure out those trends.
Yeah.
Another thing to keep in mind is also, and Willie will keep going back to this, is the inflation that's happened in the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah.
And
If we
it is
adjust it,
reflected.
it's not the same.
100%.
Yeah.
And that was me stating a second ago that I can go further. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we've seen that across the board. A hamburger now is $22. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just basic where we are.
Yeah. When Willie presented that, what was it? Was it at our shared joint meeting earlier this year where he presented the inflation adjusted numbers? And again, it definitely shows that it hasn't doubled, right? Inflation definitely accounts for a portion of this. Yeah. Well, and I think, I'll certainly share this with the chamber when we have our chamber meeting, but making sure that it gets to San Juan Development Association, or just that, like, people that have their hands in economic development in our community kind of see this, and we have conversations about what it means.
Mhm. I think it's a different conversation that we used to have around economic development, because so much of this is coming from online sales as well. And so it doesn't exactly reflect the health of our current economy, our local economy,
Yeah.
as it used to.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's not the full picture. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
with
and I guess one other question I had on this is, like, remind me of the time frame for when we will really get our actuals. I'm just forgetting that off the top of my head.
Probably in February.
Okay,
So
that's
we're
right.
about 2 months behind with our actuals. So we'll have our Decembers in February, and those aren't the audited actuals. We are scheduling out our audit this year, hopefully for April. So having numbers done by June this year is our goal.
Mm-hmm. So then that will help us better plan for what's actually in our reserves and what our fund balances are.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I would also just want to note that with the federal government's desire to close down large swaths of the backcountry, I think we'll see that pendulum move to the left or to the right with regards to
Mm,
sales tax numbers, individuals coming to town, just overall volume. It'll
mhm.
be interesting to see. It could either be
Mhm.
really, really good or possibly a slight downturn.
Mm-hmm. I feel like those are the kinds of things that we kind of, there's only so much we have control over, right? When these
Correct.
things happen.
Yep.
And we are a scrappy, resilient community. And so, how do we come together and figure out what scrappy, resilient thing we need to do or we have ability to do? So, um, yeah, I just think we're so unique in our ability to get creative, and to tell our story and to make our
Now
case.
you're
And
stealing my
so,
lines.
that's why we're a good team, Jim.
No, it really is. It's the ability to pivot
Mm-hmm.
when we see just natural course changes.
Mm-hmm. And helping our local business community who is tourism reliant just know about some of those changes or prepare. Again, there might be word
Absolutely.
on the street, but just helping get that information out there as we have it. And maybe that's something we can talk about in a chamber meeting. Um, but yeah, we're always so vulnerable to minor or major things. And so how do we help people weather them the best that they can
And
for the
yes,
up or the down?
good team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful. Great. Our next item on our agenda is the Colorado Trust Fund account change. So a couple years ago, when I was first organizing kind of all of our accounts, I just grabbed them all and put them into one area so that we could have them so I could figure out what all the accounts were. There weren't a lot of resolutions that were done at that time to kind of tell us what a certain account was. So it's taken a couple years to really determine all the accounts that we have. This Colorado Trust Fund account does need to be separate from our general account by state statute. We put it in an account with Bank of San Juan's, but does not accrue very much interest. So best practice would be put that in a Colo Trust account with that 5% interest. And that is a liquid account, so we can take it out whenever we want. And hoping to put a resolution on your next meeting packet to make this change so that that's documented in case anyone ever wondered why we put another account in there. So any questions on this one? Okay.
No.
And then I had an update. I just got the November actuals back. Usually we shoot for the 15th of every month with our accountant. So I just got the November actuals back on Friday, and it looks like our refuse fund is going to be over what I predicted. So we'll have to do a supplemental budget the 1st of January as well for that account.
And the actuals, meaning the expenses, are over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be included in our January 13th meeting, a resolution to do a supplemental budget for that.
Right.
And that is all I have for you all this morning.
Short and sweet with lots of existential questions.
Fair. All right. Well,
Thanks, Gloria.
have a happy holiday, and it's 9:18 a.m. and we can adjourn the finance committee meeting.
All right. Be well, guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry